Hello everyone, my name is Kirti and I am a student of BSc Chemistry Honours second year. This is an audio recorded lecture for visually impaired student on the topic conductometric titration, pH and buffer solution. So let's start it with conductometric titration. In addition to the various applications discussed above, one of the most important application of conductance measurement is in the determination of endpoint of different types of titration. The basic principle of all this titration is that when one solution from the burette is added to another solution taken in the titration flask or a beaker, some ions of the later solution are replaced by those of the former and hence the conductance changes. A few examples are illustrated below. First, titration of a strong acid with a strong base. Suppose a solution of HCl is to be titrated against NaOH solution. For this purpose, the acid solution is taken in a beaker and the NaOH solution in the burette. The conductance of the acid solution is noted initially as well as after successive addition of small amount of NaOH solution. Evidently, the conductance of the acid solution in the beginning is very high because it contains highly mobile H positive ion. As NaOH solution is added to the HCl solution, the H positive ion are replaced by the slow moving Na positive ion and hence the conductance of the solution keeps on falling till the end point is reached, that is all the H positive ions are replaced by Na positive ion. The reaction H positive plus Cl negative plus Na positive plus OH negative gives Na positive plus Cl negative H2O. After the end point, further addition of NaOH solution introduces fast moving OH negative ions and hence the conductance of the solution again begins to increase. Thus, if conductance values are plotted against the volume of the alkali added, a curve of type ABC is obtained. Obviously, the point of intersection corresponds to the end point. Second is titration of a weak acid with a strong base. Suppose a weak acid like acetic acid is titrated against a strong base like NaOH. The conductance of the acid initially is very low because of low ionization of the acid. However, as NaOH solution is added more and more to the acid solution, the salt produced, that is CH3COONA, is highly ionized and hence the conductance keeps on increasing along the line AB as shown. When the whole of the acetic acid has been neutralized, further addition of NaOH solution causes the conductance to increase sharply along the line BC because the NaOH added introduces the fast moving OH negative ions. The equivalence point is again the intersection of the two lines AB and BC. Third is titration of a mixture of weak and strong acid with a strong base. When a mixture of a weak and a strong acid like CH3COOH plus HCl is titrated against a strong base like NaOH, a curve of the type ABCD is obtained. The ionization of the weak acid remains suppressed in the presence of the strong acid because of the common ion effect. Hence, first the neutralization of only the strong acid takes place and only after that the neutralization of the weak acid start. Thus, in the plot, the first point of intersection, that is the point B, correspond to the equivalence point for the complete neutralization of the strong acid, and the second point of the intersection, that is the point C, correspond to the equivalence point for the complete neutralization of the mixture. Next is titration of a strong acid and a weak base. Let us consider the titration of HCl against NH4OH solution. The conductance of HCl solution is initially high because of the presence of fast moving H positive ions. As NH4OH solution is added, the fast moving H positive ions are replaced by the slower NH4 positive ions and hence the conductance falls along the line AB. When the end point is passed, further addition of NH4OH does not cause much change in the conductance because NH4OH is weakly ionized substance. The line BC is thus almost horizontal. Next is precipitation titrations. The most common example of this type of titration is that of AgNO3 solution against KCl solution. AgNO3 solution has some definite value of conductance in the beginning depending upon its concentration. As KCl solution is added to the AgNO3 solution, the following reactions takes place. Ag positive plus NO3 negative plus K positive plus Cl negative gives K positive plus NO3 positive plus AgCl as PPT. Thus, the net result in the replacement of the Ag positive ions of the AgNO3 solution by the K positive ions. Since both these ions have nearly equal ionic mobility, the conductance remains almost constant till the end point is reached. After the end point, further addition of KCl amount to the introduction of K positive ion and Cl negative ion. Thus, the conductance begin to increase along the line BC. As before, the point of intersection B correspond to the equivalence point. Next is titration of a salt of a weak acid and a strong acid. For example, suppose HCl is added to sodium acetate solution. The following reaction takes place. CH3CO negative plus Na positive plus H positive plus Cl negative gives Na positive plus Cl negative plus CH3COOH. Thus, HCl is added. The net result in the replacement of CH3CO negative ions by Cl negative ions. As both these ions have nearly the same conductance, the conductance of the solution remains nearly constant till the end point is reached. After the end point is crossed, the excess HCl added result in an increase of conductance. Thus, the shape of the plot is similar to that shown to the volume of KCl added replaces the volume of HCl added. An important precaution in all the above titration is that the solution taken in the burette should be about 10 times stronger than that taken in the titration flask or beaker so that the volume change of the later solution is negligible on the addition of the former solution. Advantages of conductometric titrations. Conductometric titration have a number of advantages over ordinary titration involved the use of indicators. For an example, this titration can be used for colored solution where ordinary indicators fail. These can be used for the titration of even every dilute solution. These can be used for the titration of mixture of weak and strong acid as the end point in this titration is the intersection of two lines. No extra care is needed near the end point. Next topic is pH and pKa. Definition of pH. We know that a solution may be neutral, acidic or alkaline. The ionic product of water Kw is equal to concentration of H3O positive into concentration of OH negative, that is 1.0 into 10 raised to power minus 14 at 298 Kelvin temperatures always hold good. Thus, if hydronium ion concentration of a solution is known, OH negative ion concentration is automatically fixed. Thus, to express the acidity or basicity of a solution, it is sufficient to express only the H3O positive ion concentration. Since the product of H3O positive ion concentration and OH negative ion concentration is always 1.0 into 10 raised to power minus 14, the concentration of H3O positive ions may vary from 10 raised to power 0, that is 1 molar, to 10 raised to power minus 14 molar. Thus, a solution may have H3O positive is equal to 2.5 into 10 raised to power minus 5 molar, or which may be written as 0.000025 molar. Obviously, such a method of expressing the H3O positive ion concentration is quite cumbersome. Sorensen in 1909 suggested a convenient method of expressing the H3O positive ion concentration in terms of pH. The symbol has been taken from the Danish word potens dihydrogen ion, which means power of hydrogen ions. The following different definition of pH are used to express the H3O positive ion concentration. pH of a solution is defined as the magnitude of the negative power to which 10 must be raised to express the hydronium ion concentration. However, this definition can be used only where the hydronium ion can be expressed as a power of 10. In many cases, it may not be easy to do so. Example, a solution may have concentration of hydronium ion is equal to 2.5 into 10 raised to power minus 5 molar. Taking logarithm on both side of the equation, we get final result pH is equal to minus log into concentration of hydronium ion. pH may be defined as negative logarithm of hydronium ion concentration. Next is pH scale. Theoretically, a solution may have any hydronium ion concentration and hence may have any pH value. However, practically, the solution having hydronium ion and hydroxide ion concentration more than 10 raised to power 0 and hence hydroxide ion or hydronium ion concentration less than 10 raised to power minus 14 molar are not common. This is because such solutions are not easy to obtain, and moreover, as the concentration increases, the degree of dissociation of the acid or the base decreases. Hence, the pH range is taken as 0 to 14 for most of the practical purposes. The acidity or the basicity of a solution may be represented on the basis of pH scale as shown. Next topic is POH, pKa and pKb. Just we have pH is equal to minus log concentration of H positive. Similarly, we have POH is equal to minus log concentration of hydroxide ion. pKa is equal to minus log Ka. pKb is equal to minus log Kb and pKw is equal to minus log Kw, where Ka and Kb represent ionization constant of the acid and the base respectively, and Kw is the ionic product of water. Greater the value of ionization constant of the acid or the base, smaller is the value of pKa and pKb, and stronger is the acid or base, and vice versa. Thus, larger the value of pKa and pKb, weaker is the acid or the base. For example, if two acid Ha1 and Ha2 have ionization constant Ka1 is equal to 10 raised to power minus 4 and Ka2 is equal to 10 raised to power minus 5, then if Ka1 is greater than Ka2, acid Ha1 is stronger than Ha2. In terms of pKa values, pKa1 is equal to 4 and pKa2 is equal to 5. Next is relationship between pH and pOH. As stated above, just as pH is equal to minus log concentration of H positive ion, similarly, pOH is equal to minus log concentration of hydroxide ion. Concentration of hydronium ion into concentration of hydroxide ion is equal to Kw is equal to 10 raised to power minus 14 at 25 degrees Celsius. Therefore, log into concentration of hydronium ion plus log into concentration of hydroxide ion is equal to log Kw is equal to log 10 raised to power minus 14 is equal to minus 14. That is pH plus pOH is equal to pKw is equal to 14. Next is relationship between Ka and Kb or pKa and pKb values. That is between ionization constant of a weak acid and that of its conjugate base. Consider the weak acid HF, its conjugate base is F negative. They dissociate as follow. Ka is equal to concentration of H positive into concentration of F negative divided by concentration of HF, and Kb is equal to concentration of OH negative into concentration of HF divided by concentration of F negative. Multiplying both this equation, we get Ka into Kb is equal to Kw. The final result we get is pKa plus pKb is equal to pKw, that is equal to 14. Next is limitation of pH scale. The pH value of the solution do not give the exact idea of their relative strength. For example, a solution of pH is equal to 1 has hydrogen ion concentration 100 times than that of concentration of pH is equal to 3 and not 3 times. A 4 into 10 raised to power minus 5 normal HCl solution is twice concentrated as compared to 2 into 10 raised to power minus 5 normal HCl solution, but the pH value of these solutions are 4.4 and 4.7 respectively and not double. pH is equal to 0 is obtained in one normal solution of a strong acid and for concentration 2 normal, 3 normal, 10 normal, etc. The value can be negative 2. Similarly, for a concentrated solution of a strong base, pH can be greater than 14. A 10 raised to power minus 8 molar solution of acid cannot have pH is equal to 8. The value will be close to but less than 7. Similarly, 10 raised to power minus 8 molar NaOH solution cannot have pH is equal to 6. The value will be close to 7 but greater than 7. Next topic is effect of temperature on pH of neutral water. It may be remembered that Kw is equal to 10 raised to power minus 14 only at 298 Kelvin and hence pH is equal to 7 for neutral water only at 298 Kelvin. As temperature is increased, dissociation of H2O molecule increases, producing larger amount of H positive ions. That is, concentration of H positive increases and become more than 10 raised to power minus 7. Hence, pH is less than 7. Higher the concentration, greater is the dissociation of H2O molecules. Higher the concentration of H positive ion, lesser is the pH than 7. Thus, pH of neutral water decreases more and more than 7 as temperature is increased. However, as at any temperature, concentration of H positive is equal to concentration of OH negative, water remains neutral. A few interesting results are given below. First, at 273 Kelvin, that is 0 degree Celsius, Kw is equal to 10 raised to power minus 15, that is neutral solution. Second, at 60 degrees Celsius, Kw is equal to 12 raised to power minus 13, that is pH of neutral solution is 6.5 and pH range is 0 to 13. At the temperature of the human body, which is nearly 37 degrees Celsius, pH of neutral solution is 6.8. Next is measurement of pH. Though accurate measurement of pH of a solution is done with the help of an instrument called pH meter, approximate pH can be determined with the help of pH papers, which show different color when dipped in solution of different pH. So here we completed the topic of pH. Our next topic is buffer solution. Definition of buffer solution. It is sometimes necessary that a solution of definite pH be prepared and stored. The preservation of such a solution is even more difficult than its preparation. If the solution comes in contact with air, it will absorb carbon dioxide and acidic anhydride and become more acidic. If the solution is stored in a glass bottle, the alkaline impurities present in glass may dissolve into the solution and may alter its pH. A buffer solution is defined as a solution which resists any change in its pH value, that is, whose pH remain practically constant even when small amount of acid or base are added to it. Next is types of buffer solution. There are two types of buffer solution. These are: first, solution of single substance, the solution of the substance of a weak acid and a weak base. For example, ammonium acetate act as a buffer. Second is solutions of mixtures. These are further of two types. First, acidic buffer. It is the solution of a mixture of a weak acid and a salt of this weak acid with a strong base. Example, CH3COOH plus CH3COONA plus HCOOH plus HCOONA. Second is basic buffer. It is a solution of a mixture of a weak base and a salt of this weak base with a strong acid. Example, NH4OH plus NH4Cl plus NH4OH plus NH4NO3. Buffer action. The property of a buffer solution to resist any change in its pH value even when the small amount of the acid or the base are added to it is called buffer action. The buffer action of different type of buffers may be explained as follows. Buffer action of ammonium acetate solution. Ammonium acetate, like all other salt, is almost completely dissociated in the aqueous solution as CH3CO negative and NH4 positive. Thus, in the solution, there is excess of CH3CO negative ions and NH4 positive ions. When a few drops of an acid, say HCl, are added to the above solution, the H3O positive ions given by the acid combine with the CH3CO negative ions to form weakly ionized molecules of CH3COOH. Thus, the hydronium ion concentration of the solution does not change practically, and hence the pH of the above solution remains almost constant. Similarly, when a few drops of a base, say NaOH, are added to the above solution, the OH negative ions given by the base combine with the NH4 positive ion to form weakly ionized molecules of NH4OH. Thus, the OH negative ion concentration and hence the hydronium ion concentration or the pH of the solution remains almost constant. On the contrary, the solution of a substance like NaCl cannot act as a buffer because NaCl dissociate completely to give Na positive and Cl negative ions. These may combine with the base or the acid added to the form NaOH or HCl, but these ionize completely to give back the OH negative ions or H3O positive ions. Thus, the H3O positive ion concentration of the solution changes and hence the pH of the solution changes. Next, buffer action of acidic buffer. For example, let us consider the buffer action of the acidic buffer containing CH3COOH and CH3CONa. Acetic acid dissociate to a small extent, whereas sodium acetate is almost completely dissociate in the aqueous solution. By common ion effect, the ionization of acetic acid is further suppressed. Thus, in the solution, there are excess of acetate ions and small amount of hydronium ions. When a few drops of an acid are added to the above mixture solution, the hydronium ions given by the acid combine with the acetic ions to form weakly ionized molecules of acetic acid. Thus, the hydronium ion concentration and hence the pH of the solution remains almost constant. Similarly, when a few drops of a base are added, the OH negative ions given by the base combine with the H3O positive ions already present to form weakly ionized molecule of H2O. As the hydronium ions are consumed, the equilibrium shift towards right according to Le Chatelier principle. Thus, more of acetic acid dissociate to make up the loss of hydronium ion. Hence, the hydronium ion concentration or the pH of the solution does not change. Next, buffer action of buffer basic. The buffer action of a basic buffer, example NH4OH plus NH4Cl, may be explained as follow. NH4OH dissociate to a small extent, whereas NH4Cl dissociate completely in the aqueous solution. By common ion effect, the ionization of NH4 positive is further suppressed. Thus, in the solution, there are excess of NH4 positive ion and a small amount of OH negative ions. When a few drops of a base are added, the OH negative ion given by it immediately combine with NH4O positive ion to form the weakly ionized NH4OH. Thus, the hydronium ion concentration or the pH of the solution remains unaffected. Similarly, when a small amount of an acid is added, the H3O positive ions given by it combine with the OH negative ions already produced by NH4OH in equilibrium. As the OH negative ions are consumed, the equilibrium one shift in the forward direction. Thus, more of the NH4OH dissociate to produce more of OH negative ions, which make up the loss of OH negative ions. Hence, the OH negative ion concentration and therefore the hydronium ion concentration or the pH of the solution remains fairly constant. retain in memory. The buffers as explained above are weak acidic buffers. pH range between 4 to 7 and concentration also act as buffer with a low pH and solution of strong bases like NaOH, KOH of suitable concentration also act as buffer with a high pH. This is explained below. First, strong acid buffer. A strong acid is completely ionized in the aqueous solution and hence H positive ion concentration is very high. The addition of a small amount of the acid or a base has negligible effect on the pH of the solution. For example, addition of 1 centimeter cube of 0.1 molar HNO3 to 100 cc of 0.01 molar HCl changes its pH from 2 to 1.96, which is a negligible change. Second, strong base buffer. A strong base is completely ionized in the aqueous solution and hence OH negative ion concentration is very high. The addition of a small amount of the acid or base has negligible effect on the OH negative ion concentration and hence the H positive ion concentration or the pH. For example, addition of 1 centimeter cube of 0.1 molar HCl to 100 centimeter cube of 0.01 molar NaOH solution changes its pH from 12 to 11.96, which is negligible change. Next topic is calculation of pH of a buffer mixture. First, for acidic buffer mixture, that is Henderson-Hasselbalch equation. If the weak acid is Ha and its salt is Ba, then Ha plus H2O in equilibrium gives H3O positive plus A negative. This is the derivation. And the final result for calculate pH of acid buffer is pH is equal to pKa plus log into conjugate base divided by acid. For basic buffer like BOH plus BA, in a similar manner POH is equal to PKB plus log into salt divided by concentration of base. Next is buffer capacity or buffer index. It is defined as the number of moles of an acid or a base required to be added to 1 liter of the buffer solution so as to change its pH by 1 unit. Thus, buffer capacity is equal to number of moles of the acid or base added to 1 liter of the buffer divided by change in pH. That is, buffer capacity is equal to dN divided by dpH. Buffer capacity of a solution is maximum when the concentration of the weak acid and its salt or weak base and its salt are equal. That is when pH is equal to pKa or pOH is equal to pKb. Refer to Henderson's equation. Next topic is importance of buffer solution. First, in biological process, the pH of our blood is maintained constant at about 7.4 in spite of various acid and base producing reaction going on in our body. In the absence of its buffer nature, we could not eat a variety of foods and spices. The buffer action is due to the presence of carbonic acid, that is H2CO3, bicarbonate ion, that is HCO3 negative, and carbon dioxide in the blood. Second, in industrial processes, the use of buffers is an important part of many industrial processes. Example, in electroplating, in the manufacture of leather, in photographic materials and dyes, in the preservation of food articles. Third is in analytical chemistry. Example, in the removal of acid radicals such as phosphate, oxalate, borate, which interfere in the precipitation of radicals of group 3 of salt analysis. In complexometric titration, example metal ion with EDTA, or to calibrate the pH meter. Next, in bacteriological research, culture media are generally buffered to maintain the pH required for the growth of the bacteria being studied. So further, these are some numericals given on the above topics. This is all for today's video. Thank you all.